Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. If you'd like to contact the show concerning the content this morning and you're offended and upset with anything I've said, please contact me at 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700, or also you can text that. You can text and say, I'd like to be on the show, and maybe we can get you on the show. Sometimes you can call in. Be a caller, chief@fetchernews.com. Follow us on Twitter @FetcherNews, @FYNTV. And also on our YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetcher News. And you'll get a subscribe to our channel and you'll get a notification anytime we're doing a live broadcast. Find us on Facebook while we're giving out information. Let me just also say we're about 100 days from high school football kickoff. And we are looking for you if you'd like to be on the sideline this year. If you would like to be a sports reporter, if you want a part-time position to cover sports in your county, or if you're close to one of our counties that we cover, get in touch with us at 706-889-9700 and become a sports reporter for Team FYN Sports Today. We cover Murray County, Georgia, Pickens, Gilmer, Fannin, Union, Towns, White County, Lumpkin County, Dawson County, and Cherokee County, North Carolina. If you're around those areas or in those counties, and even if you're in high school but you're wanting to be a sports reporter and be on the sideline the Friday nights and cover your county and your local team, get in touch with us, 706-889-9700. Okay, now Joy Reid. Now, I brought this up, and we're going to move along, but Joy Reid, controversy from homophobic, I have the answer for you, Rosanne, homophobic blog post to hacking claim explained. All right? Now, last night, MSNBC did what they called everyday racism in America that you and I experience, okay? MSNBC host Joy Reid was accused of writing homophobic blog post. Reid first said she was hacked. Then she apologized. So, Rosanne, I know you've apologized, but you got to come out with the I was hacked. I was on Ambien, and my third, 75th cousin came over, and I think they hacked my computer, and so Joy did it. Joy went from she was hacked to apologize. Now, I know you've already thrown out the apology, and you also have thrown out the Ambien, but Ambien didn't stick, by the way, so didn't work. You got to go with hacked. I mean, it seems to be the word of choice. I was hacked. Donna Brazile said, the DNC server was hacked. Hillary Clinton's server was hacked. Everybody got hacked. You got to go with that, Rosanne. I can clean this up for you. Joy said, I apologize. Joy Ann Reid on Saturday apologized for her past hurtful remarks about the LGBTQ people following the resurfacing of homophobic blog posts from her mid to late 2000s. But she also said that she doesn't believe she wrote the blog post, suggesting without evidence that they were the result of an elaborate, she wasn't just hacked, it was an elaborate scheme. Put up Joy with the Joy Luck Club. That's the Joy Luck Club there. Everyday racism in America. Okay, put that up there with the one white guy. That's how you'll find it. There's one white guy in the picture. Joy, I'm waiting for corporate now to give me the hook. Joy Reid on Saturday apologized for her past hurtful. The host of MSNBC's weekend show AM Joy has been under fire for newly uncovered blog posts on Reid. Let's see if we can get down to what they said. Adult gay men tend to be attracted to very young post-pubescent types. Does that make me homophobic? Probably. But see, Joy apologized. And as soon as she apologized, see, she's black. Black female. I mean, come on. Rosanne, you're white. What the hell? I mean, you can't do that. You're white, damn it. I mean, you're not catching on. White woman that says Trump, and really? No, 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 it ain't gonna work. You got to try this. This Joy is black. Yes, black woman, homophobic. She apologized. She was hacked. Move along. Nothing to see here, MSNBC. So she gets to be an authority figure on racism, everyday racism in America. So I could go all day on that, and we're going to leave that alone. I have a quick question. Don't want to get tied up much longer. Amanda, do you think that Rosanne should have been fired?
Well, you know, considering that Wanda Sykes and everyone else at ABC has done much worse, no. I mean, it's okay for them to be racist. It's just, you know, it's picking off. It's basically picking on white people.
So you think that the way I put it, you know, let her show play, and if people don't click on it then or watch it, then it goes off because people didn't watch it, right?
Yeah. I mean, people, it's already controversial out here on the left side anyway because of the fact that she likes Trump.
Okay, let's move on for that subject. We got an hour into it. Supreme Court, this is interesting because, let's take that picture down. The Supreme Court of Arkansas, the Supreme Court rejects challenge to Arkansas abortion law. Now, this is news that is not coming up anywhere, so I want to highlight this. Folks, now in Texas passed a law. Did you know Texas had a whorehouse in it? Anyhow, Texas passed, I can never say Texas without that. Why am I the bad guy? It's a movie. My God, Dolly Parton was in it. Burt Reynolds was in it. Who else was in that movie? Texas has a whorehouse in it. Lord have mercy on our soul. So, Texas passed a law last year, or 2015, that said that a physician that performed abortions had to have practicing credentials, I'll get it correct, at a hospital, had to have practicing credentials at a hospital. Let me see there, let me see, I get it right here. Admitting privileges. Okay, so when you go to a doctor, okay, and you're going to any doctor that you go to today, no matter where you're at in the physician world, physicians are supposed to have admitting privileges. What does that mean? You go down to your family doctor and the doctor says, I think we got to get you into the hospital. They have to have what's called admitting privileges into a hospital somewhere, okay? And there's a whole list of requirements you have to meet to have admitting privileges. Now, could you be a doctor and not have admitting privileges? I guess you can. But you're supposed to have admitting privileges. That's what it's called. So Texas passed a law and said, hey, in 2015, that you had to have, if you're an abortion clinic and you are the doctor, it's supposed to be a doctor that provides the does the abortion, okay, that you are to have admitting privileges. So if anything goes within 30 miles of the abortion clinic, okay? So that got really ugly because Planned Parenthood, Celia Roberts. Do you know who Celia Roberts is? She is Ann Roberts' daughter. Do you know who Ann Roberts' is? Ann Roberts is the former, and I do think, if you will check me out here on this, I just do it from memory, Ann Roberts is the last Democrat governor of Texas, okay? Ann Roberts was Democrat governor of Texas, and I think George W. Bush beat her for governor in Texas, and she is the last time that Texas had, not a whorehouse in it, a Democrat for governor, Ann Roberts. That is Celia Roberts' mommy, okay, who is head of Planned Parenthood, all right? You remember the famous quote? George can't help it. He was born with a golden foot in his mouth. Remember that? At the Democrat convention. Why the hell do I remember this stuff? So, going right along here, Planned Parenthood sued because 30 miles, Texas said, the state of Texas said, hey, you have to have admitting privileges if you perform an abortion. Because if something goes wrong, there's certain rules that you have to get the mother to the hospital, or if the baby lives, okay? You got to get them to the hospital. So within 30 miles, well, that would have put the abortion clinics having to be not out in the middle of nowhere within 30 miles, and their doctors had to have admitting privileges, which they didn't want to, okay? They didn't want their doctors to have admitting privileges. Point being, the Supreme Court knocked it down, okay? But yesterday, the Supreme Court rejected the challenge of Arkansas's abortion law. The Supreme Court on Tuesday declined to hear a challenge to an Arkansas law that would impose restrictions on abortion pills, clearing the way for the measure to go into effect. So in Arkansas, this is going into effect. They cleared the way yesterday. They refused to hear it, okay? So this is going into effect in Arkansas. And I wonder, Georgia is supposed to be a conservative state, religious and conservative. As is custom, the court did not provide an explanation to why it refused to hear the appeal brought by Planned Parenthood. Celia Roberts lost one on Arkansas. Planned Parenthood lost one here. Brought by Planned Parenthood, which warned that the law would make Arkansas the only state to effectively ban medication-induced abortions. Read that again. Arkansas, the only state to effectively ban medication-induced abortions. Now, what have I told you if you're out there and you're on the end abortion, Roe v. Wade must be overturned bandwagon? I told you Antonin Scalia said that former Justice, what was her name? I'll get it later. Had an opportunity to get Roe v. Wade back in the court for a decision to be overturned, and she passed it up, okay? Passed it up. I'll get it after the break. And that Antonin Scalia says Roe v. Wade has to have something like this to push it back into the court to have a new decision on it. So I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of things that's gone on with the abortion law. The heartbeat bill, Iowa, okay? Kentucky, I think it was, Oklahoma, whatever, okay? The heartbeat bill. Now this one here. So abortion is something that I think we're going to see come before the Supreme Court in a different kind of way. Now, here we go. Planned Parenthood that warned that induced abortions, medication, there's a pill. The measure passed in 2015 imposed criminal penalties on doctors who provided medication-induced abortions unless they had signed contracts with a physician who has active admitting privileges in a hospital, right? Medication-induced abortions involve a combination of two pills, all right? Planned Parenthood said in 2014 alone, medicated abortions accounted for 45% of all abortions in the United States before 9 weeks gestation. Protecting the health and well-being of the woman and the unborn will always be a priority, Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge said Tuesday after the Supreme Court decision. We are a pro-life state and always will be as long as I'm Attorney General. Planned Parenthood has argued the law was strikingly similar to the measure in Texas that Supreme Court struck down in 2016. The law required doctors who performed abortions to have admitting privileges at a hospital within 30 miles, a requirement the court said constituted an undue burden on the abortion access. Okay? So 45% of the abortions, all abortions in the U.S. before 9 weeks, are attributed to medication-induced abortions. Guess what? Arkansas said no. Guess what? Supreme Court said, we don't want to hear it. Guess what? It's gone into effect in Arkansas. Planned Parent loses one. We'll take a brief break. We're going to do another story when we come back. I want to go to another story and leave this one alone. I want to set something else up. I want to talk about Dodd-Frank whenever Amanda's ready. A lot of the news, they will not cover it. All you are hearing is Jeff Sessions morning, that he wouldn't take Donald Trump's phone calls, and Donald Trump was calling to fire him, and Reince Priebus stopped it, and he was really putting the pressure on Jeff Sessions to put himself back in to the Russian investigation and the Hillary investigation. That is what the morning is. No Dodd-Frank, no Arkansas, no Planned Parenthood. And Rosanne Barr, they're obviously looking at it a little different than your host here. I'm your host, BKP. That would be me. White guy. I'm the white guy in the room. Take us a break.
Here's to 60 years of Pizza Hut, to original pan, to stuffed crust, and to the best of both. The new double cheesy crust pan pizza with stuffed crust cheese baked just inside the golden edge of original pan. Here for a limited time. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World. In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelot.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in J next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in J next to Walmart.
Days ahead. Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Okay, folks, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show, and it is 9:12 a.m. That means we have 48 minutes left or close to it. That being said, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. I think it might rain. Oh, Lord, it's been raining. There's flash floods, so on and so forth, so I think it might rain tomorrow. But tomorrow's Thursday means it'll be time for Carla's Corner. Let me get a couple things. Now, there's another. Let me see on the Twitter deck. I'm having problems here. I told you my computer crashed, and so I'm using this little small computer slash. I don't see any tweets, so let me see what I got going on here. Trying to see if I can get something up here. Okay. Last night at the Nashville, now put up President Trump there. He goes down to Nashville, okay? Trace Atkins opens up. The crowd is big in Nashville. I mean, it's a rainy day. It is packed. Have you ever noticed? Now, here's the thing. Now, I want to ask you guys a question, okay? Now, just stay with me, Trump supporters. I think most of you know out there that I have supported Donald J. Trump from the time he came down the escalator. With Melania, by the way. And Melania was wearing white. I'll never forget. So anyway, he came down the escalator. So don't attack me if I say something in any way that, you know, I wonder if it gets into campaign season if Trump's going to have to cut a new album. And what I mean by that, there is the red meat, and I'm good with that. And there are the up-to-date comments that he makes, and I'm good with that. But I'm wondering if, you know, if it's like Boston. Remember Boston did an album, and then every album sounded the same way? I'm just saying, I'm wondering if Trump needs to cut a new album, but I don't know. He goes down to Tennessee. He does a great job last night. Okay, they're packed in there. They love him. But the only thing I don't want to have happen is I don't want to call the presidency of the United States a show, but I'm a little worried that by 2018 and then by 2020, I really don't want people saying, well, they've seen the show. Well, I don't know if I want to go down. I've already seen that show twice, all right? So just saying, just putting it out there. Trump slams Senate candidate Bredesen. Now, Bredesen is running against Marsha Blackwell, is her name Blackwell? And Marsha is trying to take the place of little Bobby Corker, okay? Now, little Bobby Corker, he was booed in the crowd. I mean, little Bobby Corker was in the back of the room and they booed him. Oh, yeah. When Trump got up there and he said, I want to thank this one and I want to thank that one and I want to remember this one and I want to remember that one. And it's good to be back in the state where Lamar Alexander. Now, Lamar Alexander, the senator from Tennessee, remember, let's do the memory. Let's work from up here, okay? Because I don't take Ambien. Let's work from right here. Lamar Alexander wore the black and white, you know, checkered flannel. Remember, red and black flannel. And how did Lamar Alexander campaign for governor of Tennessee? He walked across the state. Google it. Amanda, Google it. Google it right now because I want to know, damn it, if I'm right. There's times and places and moments in space that I need to know. Right? Google Lamar Alexander walks across Tennessee campaigning. And just give me a yes or no. Now, if it's a yes, give me a resounding yes. Not like, yeah, you're right again. Okay? Give me, you're right, man. Like, every time I turn around, you're right. So tell me if I'm right. You know I love it. Anyhow, so Trump says last night, he says, I'm glad to be back in the city. See, Lamar Alexander was the governor of Tennessee, wore the red and black shirt, walked across Tennessee, campaigned door to door, walking across the state asking for your vote. And then, Was it right? Let me just waller in it for a minute. You know, savor the moment. I'd rather waller in it. Less like an old pig. So anyhow, he's now the senator of Tennessee. And so Trump says, it's good to be here with Lamar Alexander. And they go, I don't know, we'll give him a little bit. He was governor. So it was a half-hearted, I watched, right? Then he said, and also your senator, I'm saying, little Bobby Corker, Bob Corker. And they're, boo, we can't go with you on that one. So Trump had to go home last night. He had to get on Air Force One and say, I tried, Bobby. I tried, little Bobby Corker. So anyhow, Bredesen is he is, Trump played him down, but he is a former governor of Tennessee. So you got to remember, now he's former governor of Tennessee. Memphis and Nashville is very liberal, very liberal. Nashville's very liberal. I don't care, home of country music. Trump said last night, he said, country music, man, I love country music. Really, Donald? Really? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, Donald, just saying, you know, guy out from, you know, Queens loves his country music. So anyhow, Nashville's very liberal, whether you want to believe it or not. Very liberal city. Memphis is very liberal. And so it's not an easy, a complete slam dunk for a Republican. It's not. Bredesen is a former governor of Tennessee, meaning he has won statewide elections. I think twice he won. All right, so he has name recognition. So this is not a slam dunk. But Bredesen did support Barack Hussein Obama, and Trump went for the throat last night. Look, he is a tool of Schumer and Pelosi. He is a tool. They're going to use him, period. All right? So if you pick him over Marsha Blackburn, all right, or Blackwell or whatever her name is, Blackburn or Blackwell, whatever. If you pick him over Marsha, he's a tool, all right? And he did support Hillary Clinton, so he did call him out, all right? But the best part last night, who would have thought that Nancy Pelosi is an animal lover, all right? Who would have thought it, okay? Because what has Donald Trump called MS-13? And he went into graphic detail last night. He said, you know what? Speaking of a boisterous rally speaking at a boisterous rally in Nashville, Mr. Trump criticized Democrat Phil Bredesen, a former two-term governor, I was right, as very liberal. He's an absolute total tool of Chuck Schumer and the MS-13 lover, Nancy Pelosi. Who would have thought Nancy was an animal lover? Because Trump keeps doubling down that they're animals, and they are. They are animals. They're not human, and that's what Trump said. Trump said, referring to the Democrat leader of the Senate and House, they don't want the wall. They want open borders. They're more interested in taking care of criminals than taking care of you. The president also slammed Bredesen for making campaign donations to Miss Clinton in 2016. Phil Bredesen supported her, and he supports her ideas, Mr. Trump said. He opposed the border wall. We've already started doing it, okay? So Mr. Trump goes down there, President Donald J. Trump, and he goes after him. Now, the other thing he says last night, there were so many things that he said that I really liked, finding out that Nancy Pelosi's an animal lover. Jay-Z, all right? So they're talking about from the top. Donald Trump does not let this opportunity pass. I don't know if my article will come up, but remember when Jay-Z was campaigning for Hillary, all right? So yesterday, there's this, everything goes to the top, okay? Everything is Donald Trump has created this atmosphere of hate. Donald Trump, with his Access Hollywood video, has created this atmosphere of hate, diminishing women, the value of women, nasty, vulgar, all the levels go to Donald Trump. But Trump says last night, he says, hey, Trump says Jay-Z's filthy campaign language made him look clean cut, because I watched this last night, all right? So Trump continued, sorry about my computer having a couple glitches here, but Trump talked about the filthy campaign language. I'm trying to look at something on CNN here. You don't have to pop up Anderson Cooper. That's the last thing I need right now. I mean, President Donald Trump hit Hillary Clinton and one of her campaign surrogates, Jay-Z, who he said filthy language that made him look clean cut by comparison. The only way she filled up an arena was to get Jay-Z, he said, to the booze, while recalling his 2016 victory at the campaign rally in Nashville. And his language was so filthy, it made me look clean cut. It made me look the most clean-cut human being on earth. It's true. Trump, go with this before I forget, because we are pushing up at 9:33. The governor of Georgia, and we have a couple more national things we want to talk about before we close today. But the governor's race in Georgia is now in a runoff, okay? And they're starting to spar, okay? The Memorial Day. What happens is you know, we have the primary election It happens right before Memorial Day. And if there's a runoff, you have candidates. Now, this is my opinion, and I think I'm right on this. You have candidates that don't want to start negative or spar or shoot the first arrow of anything nasty, might I say, before Memorial Day. Okay, it's Memorial Day weekend. So for the most part, after that Tuesday going into the weekend, candidates most of the time will say they look forward to the runoff and they look forward to meeting with voters and asking for their votes, and it's all pretty nice. But Memorial Day's over, we're back to work, and Casey Cagle comes out with firing at Brian Kemp. Now, I think, and I cannot tell you, no, I can't. This is going to bother you. I think I figured out, I have a suspicion of why now Casey Cagle wants to run against Brian Kemp. I have a sneaking, you ever say, I have a sneaking suspicion I know why. All right? That being said, let's say this. Let me go just a little closer to the edge of this. I have a sneaking suspicion on why Casey Cagle wants to run against Brian Kemp and what would not have worked against Hunter Hill. I know what you're saying. Well, you said this before already. Why are you holding back today? Because it's not what you think. Anyhow, Casey Cagle, they release an ad. Now, I am going to be suspect of everything they do. Now, voters, don't get upset. If you're in the Cagle camp, don't get upset. If you're in the Brian Kemp camp, don't get upset. I will be suspicious of every move they make, and I will watch for what their ulterior motive is. Yes, everyone. And it's not bad. It's politics, baby. And it's politics, and this is what they do. So there's a reason why. They get in these rooms. I like to think of them as smoke-filled rooms, and they're passing out good cigars and not cheap ones that I'm used to. But anyhow, they get in these rooms, and they strategize. And they come up with strategery, as George W. Bush said. And their strategery is their next move. And where will it land? Where will it hit? And they always fire something and see what the whoosh, spiderweb pulls in. So there are major mistakes in campaigns, but there's no mistaking they're attempting to land something for a reason. So yesterday we get the email, as we're on the email list, and it starts going around that Nita Cagle, which is Casey Cagle's wife, Nita Cagle did a commercial, she did a very nice commercial talking about her and her husband. And it's just was, I don't want to think the word, it was very nice commercial. But it was like, why did you do that commercial? Why was that necessary now? Did a focus group say Casey needs to appeal to women? Did a focus group say, did you have polling that said Casey needs to appeal to families? Did you have polling that said Casey's wife needs to, put out he's a Christian? Because the first time you met him was at a fellowship Christian athlete event, if that's what the name is. So I'm wondering right now why the Nita Cagle commercial. I'm wondering why was that timed out. But yesterday, remember now, we have a 9-week runoff. And let me get to the point here, because that's what I get accused of. We have a 9-week runoff in Georgia. Now, you may remember we used to have a 3-week, okay? You go to the primary, you didn't get, Georgia is a 50+1. You're going to win 50% of the vote plus 1 vote to get in. So Georgia used to have a 3-week runoff, and you have 3 weeks after the election, 3 weeks, go vote again, and boom, whoever that was is the nominee. Now Casey Cagle is going after Brian Kemp as Secretary of State. as Secretary of State. This article comes from Greg Bluesign of the AJC, and they will highlight anything they can as a good Republican scrap to make Stacey Abrams look good. But Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle and Secretary Brian Kemp have scrapped over gun rights, immigration crackdown, and candidate for governor is most effective conservative. Now they are adding blame to the state 9-week runoff, okay? It used to be 3 weeks. Now there's 9 weeks in this runoff. And Casey Cagle comes out and he attacks. For Georgia law requires runoffs just 3 weeks after the initial election if no candidate won for decades. My apology. For decades, Georgia law required a runoffs 3 weeks after the initial election if no candidate won more than 50% of the vote. But a federal judge in 2013, see, Brian Kemp is Secretary of State, okay? In 2013, found Georgia didn't give Americans living abroad enough time to mail in their ballots, led to the current 9-week marathon, okay? So, this is a federal law. Georgia used to have 3-week runoffs. Then it was brought up and said, hey, people living abroad, okay? All right, 9-week marathon. The prospect of a drawn out July 24th GOP runoff between Cagle and Kemp, while Democrat Stacey Abrams works to unify her party and focus on the November vote, and unnerved many Republicans, which is likely why Cagle invoked the issue in one of his sharpest post-primary attacks on Cagle. On Kemp. This is what Cagle said. For all the voters horrified at the thought of 9 more weeks of politics, you could thank Brian Kemp's office for bungling the federal court case that forced these long runoffs on the state, said Cagle, who finished with 39% of the vote. So he's blaming Brian Kemp as Secretary of State for the federal government enforcing a law on the federal government books. He said Brian Kemp bungled it, okay? Well, you decide. The election schedule became a problem for Georgia in 2012 after the U.S. Department of Justice filed a federal lawsuit. The U.S. Department of Justice filed a federal lawsuit taking issue with the state's practice of holding runoffs 3 weeks after the election. It based its complaint on the country's Uniformed and Overseas Citizen Absentee Voting Act of 1986, which established a 45-day window for overseas voters to return their ballots. A judge agreed with the Justice Department and ordered to extend the voting schedule. The law says, okay, the Voting Act of 1986 says that overseas Americans have 45-day window to get their ballots in to where they can be counted. Georgia's 3-week runoff schedule did not allow that. That led to an overhaul of the 2013, shifted the next year primary from July to May. We used to have the primary in July. When we had it in July, if there was a runoff, okay, Georgia, then it was 3 weeks and on to the races. But we switched it back to May because we needed the 9 weeks to get us into July for the general election, making it the earliest Georgia primary vote in recent history. Governor Nathan Deal, House Speaker David Ralston, and Cagle all agreed to the move, saying it would bring more robust turnout. Lawmakers approved a similar calendar for this cycle. So Casey Cagle says Brian Kemp bungled it, but when they moved the primary date, Casey Cagle, David Ralston, and Nathan Deal are the ones that said it was a good idea to move it. In response to Cagle's charges, Kemp highlighted that sense of consensus around the timing, okay? Here is Brian Kemp's comment. It's no surprise that career politician Casey Cagle is attacking the runoff calendar championed by Governor Deal, he said. He spent $8 million and dropped dramatically in the polls. The more people see of Cagle, the less they like. His quarter century in politics ends in 9 weeks. So, my opinion, Casey Cagle, I don't know if that shot landed, knowing that we would be able to check the facts of the 45-day law in the Absentee Voting Act of 1986. I don't know if that landed, knowing we could check the facts that Nathan Deal, David Ralston, and yourself agreed to pushing the primary back, knowing you needed 9 weeks for a runoff. So I don't know if I can agree with that, but nice attempt. The sparring has started, and we will watch for every motive they have while they're trying to run against Stacey Abrams, which the media loves. Take a break. We have 2 more stories I want to set up when we come back.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your